Welcome back. I'm having a bit of a frustrating time, if I'm honest with you. It's quite dark, but I'm not too concerned about that. I'm wearing an optic. You can see the light shining on the car. I've got an optic fibre light on my head, and what I want to do, because if you've seen the previous films, you'd have seen me. Let me just get the light on my head at the right angle. You'd have seen me make this section, which is to go in down here. You see, I'm trying to keep the camera out of the. I've got to cut it right along here. Trying to keep the camera out of the shadow. You can just see the shadow in the corner down here. So yeah, as you can see, it's all going to get cut out, and that should fit quite well. But what I've got to do is get all the pipes and everything out of the way. And I've come to do it tonight, and all of my tools are in the boot of the other car, Lucifer the Jag, which is in somebody else's garage, having the differential removed. So I can't do anything. I've got no screwdrivers, nothing. I need to get all this pipe work out of the way so that I can pop this. You know, I need to put this in place and mark it up for trimming, cutting and welding. And excuse the shadow, it's quite awkward with this light on my head. Try not to have that shadow. But anyway, so I'm going to have to put that down to, it's not going to happen tonight. It's a bit frustrating. I really wanted to do the job, but what I wanted to do, if I crawl underneath the car, if I get the light on my head at the right angle, this is absolutely ridiculous, I know, but hey, there we go. I'm on my back. Let's just get the light at the right angle. This is the fuel tanks just behind here. So just give the camera a chance to focus. There it is. If I can get this Jubilee clamp off, and I've got something to plug. There's about 10 gallons of fuel in this tank, so I'll have to plug it and then put a new Jubilee clamp on, but it's all rusted to hell. My WD-40 is in the boot of the other car, which is in the garage. All my screwdrivers, everything. All I want to do is undo that, pull this pipe out, plug that, and it's exactly the same if I roll over on my back. The same the other side. Just get the light. Oh, the camera's, yeah, here we go. So yeah, I need to undo this one as well. And then I'll be able to, dear me, excuse me, huffing and puffing. Get the light right. I'll be able to remove all of this pipe work. I'm struggling not to cause a shadow because the light is behind the camera that I'm holding on my head, so do excuse the camera work, but I've got to get this out of the way, and I can't do it because my bloody tools are elsewhere. Yeah, never mind. So I've got a little optic fibre camera here. I'm struggling not to sort of create a shadow. Sorry if this is making you feel sick watching this, but got this tiny little optic fibre which is on about 2 meters of cable, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to look inside the sills. I can't do it tonight because what I have to do is take the wheel off. The wheel will have to come off, and there's a hole in the end of the sill. There we go, just about see it. If I get the camera out of the way, I'll be able to thread the optic fibre camera. This is awful camera work, I do apologise. I'll be able to thread the camera down there. What I'll need to do is put the camera on a cane or something that's very stiff, because you know I need to be able to send the camera quite a long way inside these sills, and I need to be able to sort of turn it around. And so, you know, if I leave the end slightly bent over like that and put it on like maybe a 4-foot cane, and I'll be able to investigate what's inside these sills. So it might make it easier to decide whether I'm going to have to totally fabricate sills from scratch, or whether I can just cut and patch. I don't know, but if I can investigate inside. But if there's any surface rust, I'll have to fabricate them from scratch. I think the best thing I can do is flatten out those sills I was complaining about last night. Literally flatten them out and refabricate the shape, because at least the size is correct. And they're about 7 foot long, and that's already cut to size, because I've got huge sheets of steel, but I'd have to sort of cut it by hand, and it would buckle and bend, almost impossible to do in the street without a guillotine. So if I've got the material which is the right length, so if I flatten it out, then I'll reshape it, and it'll take a massive amount of time, and it'll make a hell of a row. But if you've seen the previous videos, you'd have seen me make one about 2 foot long that took a bit of time, but it was the right shape. But I need to do the whole thing, so that might be the way I'll go. But I really was hoping to sort of trial test this tonight if I can get the pipes, but my tools are just not here. Everything's in the boot of the other car, which is, you know, miles away in somebody else's garage. So very frustrating. I'm going to get absolutely nothing done tonight. See, each night that I don't do anything is just it's another night wasted. This car has to be done. It's been dismantled, and I bought the other car to do these works, and you know, it's yet another night going to be wasted. Very frustrating, but I can't actually do anything. I'm wandering up and down here. There really is nothing for me to do. So I'll put everything away and I'll just pretend this has not happened. But I won't be able to do anything tomorrow either, you know, because the tools, all my tools are stuck in the boot. But I don't have a shed or a garage, so I keep the tools in the boots of the car. If I'm driving this one, I keep the tools in this one. So whichever one I'm driving the most, I keep the tools, just should I have a breakdown. But more as much as anything, the boot is storage as well, because I don't have a shed or a garage. But never mind. Once again, I'm sorry if this sounds a little bit sour and bit miserable, but you know, I'm getting awfully frustrated. You know, I'm coming home trying to get works done and can't get the bloody thing done for whatever reason. I'm trying to put the time in, but yeah, it just never occurred to me until I got myself down here on my hands and knees. The tools are not in the boot here; they're in the boot of the other one. I've been planning this all day, going through my mind what I'm going to do and how I'm going to block those fuel pumps off. And I'm actually, not, I say fuel pump, fuel tanks. I've got pieces of wood. Here's one. It was off I just bought it from, you know, I think it was the pound shop. It was the handle off a kitchen brush. It's the sort of thing you sort of paint egg yolks onto pastries, that sort of thing. So it would just poke into the tank and then you know, put a clamp on it. There is the possibility of sticking a big bolt in there, but not to worry. I just want to have 2 or 3 things to hand. And as you can see, I've got plenty of brand new clamps. I just can't get the old ones off. I've got no tools whatsoever. So never mind, I'm going to cheer myself up somewhere else. I'm sorry if this sounds a little bit sour. I don't mean to sound as if I'm moaning, because the one I did last night, I didn't sound terribly happy either. So I'm not wishing to make these videos depressing, so do forgive that.